This brings back memories, and I'm going back to 2006, basically, when I started, well, maybe even 2007, when I was flying the first sturmovik, and it wasn't with this type of joystick. Now, this isn't any ordinary joystick, of course, and it can't compare to the joysticks back then, like, what, almost 20 years back? But regardless of that, brings back memories, without a doubt. So, right here we have Moza Flight, AB9 force feedback base, and then we have the MH16 Flightstick, and we also have the Z-axis module. Now, this is quite interesting because, first of all, the design, the craftsmanship, and everything that you saw so far with Moza Racing, wheelbase, steering wheels, pedals, then we go with truck steering wheels and everything all together, handbrakes, sequential shifters, and then we go with flight simulation. This is just brilliant. The amount of functions that you have on this one is just outstanding. So I'll try to break it down as quickly as possible because we have loads of stuff to go through the base, through the stick, and for the module. And of course, we have to go through Moza cockpit software, which gives you full details. I mean, it really has loads of details. And then finally, the game that I played, I wanted to go with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. But when you enter everything there, and when you have to be really enthusiastic when it comes to flying those type of planes, because the amount of configuration that you have to go through the flight simulator to get this thing working is insane. Well, basically not this one, any joystick. It's just insane. So I skipped that on purpose and went with IL-2 Sturmovik, which is a newer game, something like that, but it's still quite oldish, and it's just plug and play. You literally plug this one in, you simply just configure it through Moza Pit House, you put the link for the game, launch it, and basically adjust the graphic settings and everything, and that's basically it. You can immediately fly. It immediately detects that this is for gun firing, this is for adjusting the flight, and everything all together. It's so simple and easy, and this is what I was looking for. Plug and play, no additional complications. But for you guys that are really digging this type of stuff, the flight simulation and everything all together, you'll definitely enjoy it because you have loads of, you already know. I don't have to go into that part because I'm not doing a review of a game. I'm doing a review of the AB9 force feedback base and, of course, the MH16 Flightstick. Now, when we go with some features, main features of the AB9, we have MCLS force feedback algorithm. Then we have the 12 Newton meter peak torque, dual servo motors, aviation grade aluminum alloy construction, high resolution encoders, and quite a seamless design. But to be honest, when you're moving the stick, what happens here is the leather here kind of creates some sound, but nothing drastic. Okay, so when we're talking about the dual servo motors delivering a peak torque of 12 Newton meters, we have a single direction providing a constant 9 Newton meters of torque, and the system offering a peak torque of 12 Newton meters. That is quite important. Now, the MCLS, or Moza Control Loading System, it delivers precise force feedback. And you have the possibility with maximum adjustable plus minus 20 degree travel. It basically accurately simulates various flight scenarios. Now, when we go more into details regarding the games, we have Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, X-Plane 12, 11, 10, DCS, IL-2, War Thunder, and others. Also, quite important, we have an open ecosystem. So that means that the Moza AB9 base supports third-party flight sticks with compatible mounts. There are also multiple positions for the installation, and you have that table clamp, which gives you an option to mount it like I did on the front, hanging off the table. Then you have the possibility to mount it on top of the table. You have the possibility to mount it in front of the cockpit, on some rails if you have something like that, and on some, I don't know, table stand or whatever. It really doesn't matter because you have loads of possibilities. So that's up to 5, and basically depends on the way your technique or how you're flying or anything similar to that. Now for the Moza flight stick, what we have right here is again aluminum alloy construction, classic design. You have detachable modular components, which is really outstanding because these side buttons too, I don't know how to call them properly, but these two side ones can be removed and maybe additionally added something else, or I don't know, it's for the future most likely. We have ALPS switches, then we have 30 input signals, and of course open ecosystem. Now the way you connect it is quite straightforward. Basically from the MH16 flight stick you have connector hanging out, you have to pull it a bit, then you connect it to the base, and then you just tie up the screw, the locking mechanism here that has the possibility to connect it with threads. Not like a quick release when we're driving, because this is a completely different story, so don't get me wrong. At the back side of the base we have USB for connecting, then we have 4 dev ports, and we have DC input with power. Talking about mounting mechanism and everything all together, what you have to do is you have these 2 rails here at the back of the base, and to mount it as I did, what you have to do is you have this type of I don't know actually how to call them, but what you do is you use the threads, normal threads, threaded screws, and you attach it to the clamp, and basically you just have to slide the base inside. When you slide it in, because you don't have to tie up the screws initially without the base on, you tie them up after the base slides inside. So it's really straightforward actually, and easy. You don't have to worry about anything else. Now the enjoyment while flying, it's really something else. I don't know if I actually turned on the full peak torque and the force feedback and everything all together, because I did stall a couple of times while flying, and I was just experimenting to see what kind of feedback will I get and everything all together. Loads of buttons, loads of options, so I think it's time to go to Moza cockpit and check how much options you have. Entering Moza cockpit, what you can see immediately is the MH16 and the AB9. Of course, you have the rudder pedals and the throttle pedal, which I currently don't have right here, but it doesn't matter. We're going to go through MH16 and AB9, but let's check Moza cockpit and see what we have right here. So immediately this is the MH16. Then we go with the AB9. You have loads of stuff going right here, and these are the throttle pedal settings, and of course the rudder pedals. Now the MH16, what you can do here is the grip type select, so you can go with MH16, MA3X, V Alpha, V Alpha Prime, V52, and WW16. Of course, you have the head switch mode from D-pad to button, and cogging torque calibration. You can do that as well. As you can see on the right, you have the button numbering, so you can basically know when you're adjusting everything in the game, which button is what and how to adjust everything all together. Really straightforward and simple, nothing too much to go through. But then we go with AB9. Now AB9 has loads of settings, and when we talk about loads of settings, you have basic settings for force feedback mode, direct input telemetry FFB, and integrated FFB. You have temperature control modes, you have maximum torque output, overall force feedback intensity, spring, damper, inertia, friction, and game force feedback gain. On the right, we have the access inputs. You can reset the base and auto calibrate. But then we go with more. Now you have expert settings where you can do the centering. You have the option to turn on and off dead zones, link positive and negative, and link X and Y. Dynamic FFB gives you the MCLS model. Then we go with telemetry FFB. Now right here we have so much options. We have general aircraft, propeller aircraft, jet aircraft, and helicopter. So basically you can really go into loads of details here and adjust everything as you wish. Then next, access travel. I don't have to go too much into details regarding this. Access force. And finally special, which gives you an option for the harder trim mode to adjust the nose down, nose up, the force trim, the trim follow rate, and link positive and negative, and link X and Y. So what you can see right here is really loads of details, not so much for the MH16, which only gives you the button numbering and the D-pad button and everything that I mentioned already. But the AB9 is so detailed that going specifically into details regarding all these settings, you can really talk for at least an hour about everything. So yeah, quite interesting. If you're digging this, you'll definitely enjoy going more into details about this. So guys, if you're into World War II fighters or just flying around in a flight simulation and enjoying the flight with any type of plane from Microsoft Flight Simulator, this might be a good solution for you guys. I don't know if you're into this type of stuff or you're not, or well, basically if you're watching this video, you might be. But in general, taking into consideration the past products from Moza, in general Moza Racing, and now we have Moza Flight, and with the quality in the past products, what you can expect here is the same quality going throughout the, well, basically the base, the flight stick. It's just there. It's really straightforward and simple to connect it, to plug it in, and you saw how much options you have in the Moza cockpit. It's just insane. I mean, if you're really into this stuff, you can really go bonkers adjusting everything into small details, and you'll definitely be enjoying even the last second, the last beat, or the last adjustment for your joystick, for your base. And of course, inside the game, what you could do to maximize your enjoyment altogether. What I can say is this has been this is an incredible experience, specifically since last time I flew properly was 2007, 2008, maybe even. And so, guys, the links for the Moza AB9 base is in the description, as well as the MH16 Flightstick. So you can check that out. And of course, don't forget this. This is the Z-axis module, which it's kind of an extension kit heading 97 millimeters in length. But it also features a 16-bit Hall sensor for precise control, aerospace, gray CNC aluminum alloy construction, for durability, and locking mechanism for flexible use. In general, if you're going with something like that, all three products are in the description below, so you can check out the prices. And that'll be all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. It is a bit completely different, even though you've seen Moza Racing and what I did there. This is definitely something else, but brings back memories. Thanks. Bye.